Good morning, how is everybody doing? Just getting some things ready to go on my road trip today. Like I had said in yesterday's video, I am heading down to Cincinnati, Ohio today to pick up a new arrow sign for my wife's dance studio. The one that we had kind of suffered some wind damage and we lost the inserts. And to order those inserts is like $265. So I was able to find this sign down in Cincinnati for $100. That's quite a bit cheaper than just buying the inserts and having them shipped, even with my fuel driving down there and back. And it also gives me an opportunity to visit my son while I'm down there. So just getting some things ready to go in my truck. Gonna go grab my Hot Shots EDT and get that going. And had to get my little companion there to go with me. He goes everywhere with me, and just to kind of keep me safe. So did pick up a new shop banner from my mower shop. Just need to get it hung up in the garage in there, and I was able to order the parts. Well, not able to. That's pretty obvious. He got them parts ordered for me, so those will be here hopefully. Probably won't be here today, but they will be here tomorrow. So I'm able to get my pump back here built, or not, it's kind of rebuilt, but you know, if you remember right, I got to do this shaft. This is pressed on, so I could, if I could knew what size bearing this was as far as the outer and the inner, I would be able to just get a bearing and press it on there, but I don't have a press, so it really doesn't matter. So just gonna grab over here to the cabinet and grab my EDT. I use all of Hot Shots products. I really like it. I use their oil, I use their fuel treatments, I use their oil additives. Well, I don't have to buy their oil additives anymore because it is included now. It comes right in the oil. Just want to make sure that I have an ounce in here, because I'm going to be putting like a quarter of a tank in. That'll be just enough. Going to be putting, all I have to do, jeez, I've only had one cup of coffee this morning, so I can't talk very well. I only have to put about a quarter of a tank in because that's all I've used. So we'll see what kind of mileage I've done on this quarter of a tank. And neighbor leaving for work. He loves his mini trucks, and most of them are pretty cool. So we'll see what kind of mileage I did get out of this quarter of a tank of fuel, and get filled back up and get headed on the road. Well, I am on my way. I just left the house probably about 3 or 4 minutes ago. I'm going to go ahead to my local truck stop over here, just by I-75 to fill up, instead of going clear over to Walmart. I'm just gonna get fuel here and then get right on 75 and start heading south. One other thing I did, the right amount of air pressure for, you know, maximum fuel economy. My tires call for 65 pounds of air, and that's what I made. That's what I made sure that was in it. They were only about 5 pounds low. Each tire had right around 60 pounds in it, so that's not too bad. I haven't checked them since probably before winter of last year, so that would have been in 2017 sometime. So, you know, that's my neglect. I should check that kind of stuff at each oil change. So if you guys haven't already done so, check out Hot Shot Secrets. You know, I use their products, you know, like I was saying just a little bit ago, on everything, and I picked up, you know, a considerable amount of fuel mileage, and also less wear and tear on my engine just from using their products. I did, sorry, railroad tracks back there. I did get my oil analysis back the other day, and it come back, you know, trending for boron, magnesium, and there was one other one, and that's just because of the synthetic fuels, or I'm sorry, the synthetic oil. So, you know, everything, there was no high marks on any wear items as far as copper, brass, metal, any of the bearings and stuff that, you know, any of the metals that the bearings are made out of. I'll get it out eventually. And so I'm pretty happy with that. I did do some more stiction eliminator in this oil change to try and help clean things out again. And then their oil is also infused with their FR3, which is a friction eliminator, not to be confused with stiction eliminator. So we'll see how the next test results come back. So I'm sitting right at 207, 660, so I do have several thousand miles before I'm going to be changing my oil again, but you guys will be right here with me the next time I do, because I'm not planning on going anywhere soon. Just getting ready to pull into the truck stop here. Everything is under construction. They built a new building. The old building used to sit right here where the excavator is sitting now. So I'm just, I've never used their fuel, so this will be kind of interesting to see what kind of mileage I get out of somebody else's fuel. For the most part, I've always used Casey's or Walmart. I don't think I've ever used any fuel from here. Matter of fact, I know I've never used any fuel from here, so this will be quite interesting to see what happens as far as mileage on this tank of fuel. Just got done filling up my truck. I did 13.89 gallons of fuel, and then I have 200 miles on that, so plus my 10%, so that's 220 miles. So I'll figure that up and see what I did do on just that quarter tank, which is nothing. And remember, I've got my comp box set at 1/4, so that's 220 divided by 13.89 equals, that's 15.83 miles a gallon. So I actually did worse on that tank than I did, well, not tank, that quarter of a tank, than what I did at set it at having my comp box set at 1/2. So, but you know, that's only running a quarter of a tank, and then most of that tank was pulling the trailer last weekend too. So, you know, it didn't have time to average out as far as the whole tank. So it probably would go back up to the 16.25 gallons, possibly, if I would have let it go the whole way and average out for the whole tank. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock this box down on the sub level to 2 and see what I do over the road, because I've noticed up here, you know, that's falling off, which is wrong. So I'm wondering if, for me, the 1/4 is going to be too high. So I do have, I am looking at injectors to see which ones I'm going to go with. Probably going to go with like a 7 by 9.5 is what I've decided upon, I believe, and that would be like 125 horse over injector. So we'll head on down the road and see how we do. Well, I had to stop for my first pit stop of the truck, not because, or first pit stop of the truck, first pit stop of the trip, but not because the truck needed it, because I needed it, because of just a little bit too much coffee down there. So everything taken care of as far as our local rest areas there. This one is pretty nice and new and clean. So I stopped here just outside of Mason, Ohio. I'm getting ready to pick up my son. He is going to, my oldest son, he's going to ride with me to go pick up this sign, then him and I is going to grab some lunch. Was hoping to maybe do some top golf, but my calf is still pretty tight and pretty sore, so I don't believe that I'm going to be able to swing a club to be doing some top golf. So I better take it easy and not do anything stupid and slow down the healing process. So we're gonna get back on the road and go pick him up and go pick up the sign then. So we'll catch up with you guys later on. All right, well, after spending the day with my son, and since we couldn't go to Topgolf, we did go out to lunch like I had said, and we also stopped at a couple of gun surplus stores. When I go down there, I like to check out some of those. Most of them down there have indoor ranges. We went to Point Blank, and we also went to Aim Surplus. Point Blank has an indoor range. Another one down there has an indoor range. It's called ReadyLine. AIM Surplus is just basically what it is. It's a big surplus store. What I picked up down there is a, they had PMags on sale for AR-15 platform. And that's not it. They had these on sale for, I think these were like $9. It's just a 30 round PMag from Magpul. Here is their website and their information. It's aimsurplus.com. Check out their website. They have a lot of stuff. And then this is just a lower parts kit. I've got a couple of stripped lowers downstairs that are complete. They're not 80%ers, and I wanted to get one of those built up and put together and take advantage of, they had that on special too. I think that lower parts kit was, it was like $35 or $35.95 or something like that, something stupid low price. It just has a standard grip. I'll switch that out and put like a BCM grip on it or something like that. This is just a standardized grip. But these grips here are good for if you want to learn how to stipple. Just take and sand this diamond pattern down and get your soldering iron out and do some stippling if you want to learn how to do that. I've used those, a couple of those before, as far as trying to, teach myself how to do some stippling. I haven't bit the bullet yet and, sanded down the frame of my Glock 43, the one, that's what I carry primarily all the time. I haven't bit the bullet yet and sanded that down and stippled that, but I have done several PMags. I've done several of these PMags, and I have also done a couple of these pistol grips, and I don't know what else I've done. On these PMags, what I've done is this raised area, and like if you're doing a 3-gun tournament or something like that where you need to change a mag, it's just a lot better than grip tape. With grip tape, it's fine when you first put it on, but as it starts wearing and starts coming off, you're left with all that goo from the tape and stuff like that. If you stipple them raised areas on them PMags, it never gets sticky from the tape coming off. So anyway, that's kind of off subject. Let's go back to I finally made it home. I stopped and filled up, and I put in 15.63 gallons is what I used. So this morning, in a quarter of a tank, I did 13.89, and then when I got home was 15.62. And at my box set at 1x4, it was 220 miles with my 10% because of tire size, and I did 15.85 miles to the gallon. Now, over here, I have my box set at 1x2. I did 277 miles with my 10% for tire size, and I did 17 3/4 miles to the gallon. So, I guess for the setup that's in there, that's pretty darn good. I'm not going to complain at all. But I have decided I'm going to change the injectors. It's just cheaper than putting a bigger turbo on it, or cheaper than going, not necessarily a bigger turbo. I can go with an S300, stay the same size, just go a bigger comp and exhaust wheel. Basically, that's all I would do. So yeah, essentially I'm doing a bigger turbo. Anyway, instead of doing that, it's cheaper just to put smaller injectors in it. I've looked at Stealth Diesel and I've looked at Ducky fuel injection. It's the two companies I've looked at. I'm going to go with a 7 by 9.5, and what that is, it's 7 holes, and then the 9.5 is the hole size. So, and then I'm going to go with a VCO style injector instead of the sack injector. They're just a little bit quieter injector, is why I've decided to go with the VCOs, and it's just the shape of the tip. When I get them in, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So anyway, I don't know which company I'm going to go with yet, whether I'm going to go with Stealth or I'm going to go with Ducky. I just haven't decided, but I do need to get those ordered and get them coming so I can put them in a truck and hopefully pick up some more fuel mileage. So anyway guys, I do appreciate you watching clear to the end. Hit that like button, give me a thumbs up, and stay tuned because I will be back tomorrow hopefully with my parts in to get that pump finished and put back together. So until then guys, we'll talk to you later on. Bye bye. Don't forget to subscribe.